Thank you very much, and it's really great to have you with us. You are a specialist of international relations, and I would like to ask you a very simple question, but I think very important question. How do we foster the collaborative spirit?
Being realistic, in fact, it's not a matter of moral, but a matter of realpolitik. We have the right to be selfish. We have not the right to be not clever. And to go to multilateralism is just to be clever. Because we're in a global world, the challenges we must cope are global and not national. And if we are not cooperating, we will not be able to cope the huge challenges of the 21st century. So I think that multilateralism, it's not an option, it's an utmost necessity. And if we don't go in this direction, everybody will lose something.
Thank you very much. Talking about global challenges, of course, one of them is climate change. 5 years ago, we had a very important agreement in Paris, the Paris Agreement, and I would like to ask you, what is your assessment of today's situation vis-à-vis the issue of climate change?
There is good news and bad news. The good news, of course, is the end of Trump's mandate and the fact that Joe Biden has declared that his first priority will be to come back to Paris Agreement and to struggle against climate change. In fact, I don't like the word climate change, it's climate degradation. A change could be positive. This one is not positive at all. But on the other hand, we will see that Mr. Bolsonaro, Mr. Scott Morrison in Australia are still climato-sceptic. They don't go in this direction. On the side of the good news, you have the reaction of civil societies, public opinion, and among all of the young generation, which is very dedicated because it's their future, and they are very dedicated to struggle against climate degradation. I think that we must also be clear that some countries which we are member of Paris Agreement don't respect every note of this agreement, and to have coal in his mixed energetic mix is not a good thing. We must give up to coal in the near future.
Thank you very much, Professor. You are a prominent expert of international relations, and you have been observing with great attention the development of the relationship between the EU and China. Where do you think, Professor, we should deepen the relations between China and the European Union?
There is many fields of cooperation. The first one, and probably the most important one, because it's the most important challenge the world has to face, is to fight together against degradation of climate. China is an important member of Paris Agreement. They have changed their policy. They were climato-sceptic in the past. Now they are very active to protect the climate. And I will say that on this field, we are on the same side, China and European Union. We have some differences on trade, and we must solve these differences. Regarding Africa, we could also work together. The development of Africa is a common goal for China and Europe. Sometimes, let's be frank, sometimes we rival, but most of the time we could work together for the best interest of everybody, China, Europe, and Africa. And if Africa could have more infrastructure, could have more important infrastructure, it will be good for everybody. And regarding World Health Organization and the fight against disease, because new pandemic could come again. And so we must work together to reinforce World Health Organization and to find a common vaccine and to make of the future vaccine against COVID-19 a common good, a world common good.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your very constructive remarks, and to remind all of us also, even when we talk about China and the EU, of the importance of Africa, to a certain extent, the continent of the future. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you.